For all the latest community news and events.
103.2 Preston FM.
Your community, your radio.
One thing that's very seldom out of the news these days is talking about energy, talking about fuel debt, etc. And in the studio right now, my first guest, unfortunately, my first guest should have been Hugh Clayston, but we had problems on the phone. So my first guest in the studio is Caroline Cameron. And Caroline is the energy fuel debt advisor with Citizens Advice here in Preston. So very good morning to you, Caroline.
Hello.
Welcome on to Chat City. And I believe, is it next week or is it actually this week that there's an energy saving week that's being promoted by Citizens Advice?
It's actually next week. So the whole of next week, we've got a number of events running in Preston. We start off on Monday. We're actually going to be on the Citizen Zone bus and the Flag Market. And then on Tuesday at the bus station as part of the health wellbeing event. Connect for Life. Wednesday we're going to have a Citizen bus again in Brookfield, and Friday we're going to have a stall on in Preston Indoor Market.
Right. So across the city then next week people can come along. And what will people find if they come along? What are they able to find out about or get advice on, Caroline?
Okay, well basically this is a national campaign that's been led by Citizens Advice and supported by energy companies, the government and other charitable organisations. And the aim is actually to help people cut their fuel bills and to get any additional financial support they may need in order to either help them if they're in debt to their current supplier, or to access other help and support, financial help and support they need to make their homes more energy efficient.
So there'll be people from the various companies who can give kind of advice. If it was that you were looking at how to make your home energy efficient, you'd be able to come along and get the advice. And also, I take it, find out about what maybe grants are available to help you do that.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a number of grants that are available. The best thing would be for any consumers who are interested in that to come along to one of the events, find out whether they'd be eligible, because unfortunately not everybody is eligible for the support. We could run a check. We'd always run a benefit check to see if they're entitled to benefits or tax credits they're not claiming. And then secondly, whether they'd be eligible for other pots of money or support that may be available. One of the things that is available to people on low income is the Warm Homes Discount Scheme, where they get £135 off their electricity bill at the end of the winter period. Now, there is a standard group that will automatically get that, and then there's a broader group who have to apply. And most people don't realise that they could actually be eligible for that help and support. So that's where we would come in. We would give them that advice and help on how to actually claim that money. Obviously there's the cold weather payment, which has been going for some time, plus other grants that are available to help make your home more energy efficient.
Right. Are those two benefits that you've just mentioned, are they different than the cold weather payment benefit and the Warm Homes
Discount?
Yes. Are they different benefits?
They're not benefits, they're payments are made.
Sorry, yes.
Yeah, they're payments that are made in certain situations. So there is a general eligibility check for those, so not everybody gets them. If you're not eligible for those payments, then you may be entitled to some help to help reduce your fuel bills. So for example, if you are a homeowner, then you may be entitled to the eco deal, which will give you which is basically a loan against your energy bill to help improve the energy efficiency of your home. And that's generally for homes that are older properties that obviously cost a lot to maintain and to heat.
Are most of the payments, are they age related? Is it a more wider spectre? Are they also mainly based on your own income?
There are some, so the Warm Homes Discount Scheme automatically eligible if you're pension on guarantee pension credit, for instance. And then there is or if you're in receipt of certain income related benefits. And then there's a broader spectrum as well, depending on, if you have, if you care for children under a certain age or you have someone in your household who's disabled. So we can basically help people if they come along, they're not sure whether they'll be eligible or not. We'll be able to assess straight away whether they are, and then we can either help them speak to the energy company about it or give them the information that they need in order to contact the energy company and fill in an application or do the application online. It is quite a straightforward process. Sometimes they can do it online, they can do it straight over the phone. Other times they have to complete an application form. So it really depends on the individual energy company what their process is for that.
And do you think there are many people who actually are not aware of maybe the payments that they are entitled to? Because it does seem a minefield, doesn't it, when you talk about the various payments? And I know with this being a kind of remit within your work, you have an overview of all the different payments. But for a general member of the public, it does seem quite a minefield as to how you find out what you could be entitled to.
Yeah, that's a very good point, actually. I mean, one of the statistics that have come out of this campaign is that up to £20 billion in benefits went unclaimed in the year 2011. So that's only a couple of years ago. And the other issue, obviously, is that in terms of switching tariffs and energy suppliers, people stay with the same company for years. They don't realise that they can actually get a better deal elsewhere. So, I mean, it is a very good point. Sometimes people who own their own homes, they don't realise that they may actually be entitled to support and help with the council tax bill, for example. It really all depends on how much income they've got coming in. So really what they need to do is they need to come along, have a benefit check, an assessment of their particular circumstances and see whether they would be entitled to any benefit or help. It's crazy to think that amount of money is actually going unclaimed every year. And when people could, they're entitled to apply for it.
And interestingly enough, that's not something that's mentioned in the media very often, is it? The money that is not being claimed.
Well, quite. I mean, obviously there's lots of media interest around people overclaiming benefits or claiming benefits to which they're not entitled. But actually more money goes unclaimed than is fraudulently claimed. Obviously the government and news sells bad stories, really. We don't get to hear the good side of things, unfortunately. So that's why people need to be informed so they can find out what their rights and responsibilities are. They can find out how to improve their lives and get the best deal for them.
So, again, people can come along next week and find that out. And they can also be given advice then how to change the power companies, can they? If they want to switch, the advice will be on hand there explaining how to do that.
Yes, that's right. Unfortunately, we don't have the resources in Bureau to actually accommodate people wanting to go on switching websites if they don't have internet access at home. But if they come on the Citizen bus on either Monday or the Wednesday, we will have access to the internet on both those days. So if people did want to come along and have a look on a switching website and see how easy it would be to switch, we could do that. We also have we are also working with another company where they will actually look on comparison websites for clients. So we make the phone call, client gives them the information, they'll ring the client back with details on how they can switch. So that's another way of doing it if people are uncomfortable accessing the internet or they don't have access to the internet.
Right. And just talking in general, I would imagine that the CAB in Preston these days seeing lots more people than maybe 4 or 5 years ago who are coming along for advice and help.
Yeah, it's, I don't have the statistics to hand, unfortunately, but yeah, certainly the case. We've always had a large proportion of clients coming to us for help is based on benefits and debt, particularly now more than ever, really. What with people, the job situation, being what it is, people losing their jobs, people who are previously self-employed not getting the business, needing help and support on what benefits they can claim. And there's been, since the change in the benefit system, obviously, where people are being sanctioned seemingly a lot quicker, then we are finding that people are coming to us wanting referrals to the Salvation Army Food Bank, because if they're sanctioned, they have no money. Any money they have goes on paying their bills first, and then there's no money left over to pay food or to go out and buy food. So we are finding an increase on that, as much as 3 or 4 a day sometimes. So obviously it's distressing for the clients, and it's distressing for us, that people are in this position where they have to do that.
And of course, Citizen Advice themselves as an organisation has been through quite a difficult time over the last few years, as with many organisations, in keeping staff and actually keeping open.
Yeah, I don't think people realise we are actually a charitable organisation. Right. So in the past, the majority of our funds would have come from government, so via local government. Unfortunately, as you're aware, local government, they've had their budgets cut, so they've had to make cuts and changes to various organisations, and we have been one of them, unfortunately. So we do pretty much rely on other sources of help, so big lottery funding and others like that to support the core services. Where possible, we try and keep the specialist services like debt, because obviously that's an essential part of what we do. But we are finding that, we just find, we are finding it more and more difficult to actually supply the demand that is out there, given the limited resources that we have.
I'm sure. So, Caroline, just remind us then next week where people can come along and find out about Energy Saving Week.
Okay, so it's going to run from the 27th to the 31st of January, Monday to Friday inclusive. There will be posters put up in and around Citizens Advice Bureau, also in the market, in the indoor market. And we will be on the City Zone bus on Monday and Wednesday. So Monday in the Flag Market, Wednesday at Brookfield Spa, Tuesday at the bus station as part of the health and wellbeing event.
That's right. Yeah.
And then a stall in Preston Market on Friday. So there'll be lots of information available, plus some free giveaways. So if people want to come along and have a chat to us, we'll take names and contact phone numbers, and we will arrange to contact people at a later date if we can't provide them with what they need at that time.
Right, and people don't have to make an appointment?
They will have to make an appointment to the Bureau. Unfortunately, we do run an appointment-led service. But if it's for something specifically to do with fuel debt, energy efficiency awareness, we do have specialist advisors available dealing specifically with that issue. So they probably will be able to get an appointment within about 2 weeks.
Right. Would it be would it be a good idea if they come along next week to bring, if they're looking at utilities, etc., to bring a utility bill with them, or that would help advise us to...
Yeah, it would be a good idea if they had a bill which was showing their tariff, how much they're paying, how they pay, if they've got an idea of their usage over the previous year as well. That kind of information is what they would need in order to actually go on one of the switching websites. So they either need to know how much they use or how much they pay, and what kind of income they're on as well, which will enable us then to see if they're entitled to any more help.
Okay. Well, can I thank you for coming in this morning onto Chat City and telling us all about it, and I'm sure you'll have lots of people dropping by next.
Thanks for listening. If you've enjoyed today's interview, why not tweet Hughie at Chat City PFM.